Our temperatures have been all over the map lately, but as we look ahead to those colder months, what can we expect? We're going to bring in our chief meteorologist, Natasha Ramsahai. Tash, I know we love the warm temps, but we have to look ahead to the colder months. Yes, La Nina.
Yes.
Oh boy. Okay, let's break this down. What can we expect? What is La Nina exactly?
Right. So La Nina is it's the El Nino Southern Oscillation. It's one of the things that sort of fluctuates globally. It's called a teleconnection, and it's something that happens way away from Toronto, but does impact our weather here. We're actually under a La Nina watch. So we watch those waters off the coast of South America in the Pacific, and when we're seeing blue here, this means cooler than average. That is what we look for. That is a typical signal of what La Nina looks like, versus El Nino, that same patch of water looks red, really warm and above seasonal. So they're literally opposites of each other. And what happens is it all has to do with the trade winds. So in a La Nina year, these trade winds will weaken. So here's like a non-La Nina year, right? Trade winds push all that warm water to the west, and that's cool. And if they weaken, you get El Nino. But what happens in the La Nina year, those trade winds are super strong. It pushes that hot water so far west that it has to be replaced by cool water pumping up from the bottom of the Pacific. And so that's what's happening. And the placement of these two pools of sort of cool and hot water impact the jet stream over North America, Mel. So yeah, things that happen so far away can impact things globally and your local weather as well.
Okay, so now we are going to get everyone who's a sports enthusiast, like a skier, a skater, everyone's saying, is this going to be a good thing or a bad thing for us in Southern Ontario?
Yeah, so La Nina typically trends warmer for Southern Ontario, not so much for the West Coast. So BC and the prairies, the jet streams act in such a way they kind of push further north and they plunge that cold air across Western Canada. Not so much, though, across the Great Lakes. What happens here, though, is we become on the storm track. So that jet stream acts like train tracks. It directs low-pressure systems along it. And that jet stream will likely be situated over Southern Ontario. And that means that wet pocket will be over the Great Lakes. But let me show you the official forecast here for December, Jan, and Feb for Canada. This is from Environment and Climate Change Canada, where you see red. Warmer than average winter temperatures expected. Yes, that is right across the Great Lakes. And like I said, across the west, that's your typical La Nina, where they're going to be sort of average to cooler than average. And in terms of precipitation, if you see green, there it is across the Great Lakes. So wetter than average over the coming months. And you're thinking, well, this is going to be great because it's going to be snow, right? Well, we've got declining ice. That is the trend. That's been the trend since the 70s on the Great Lakes. And that would be good. You're thinking, okay, so snow squalls, which a lot of our ski hills here, they depend on snow squalls throughout the winter. And you need a lot of cold air, you need warm water, and you need ice-free Great Lakes. So that graph I just showed you, which shows, okay, there's barely going to be any ice on the Great Lakes. We're seeing that decline. The problem is we also need the super cold air in place. And it looks like these machines, the snowmaking machines, the artificial machines, are going to be having to work hard this winter because we just are not going to have the ingredients in place for typical lake effect snow. You've got to have the temperature difference between the water and air 1,500 meters up. You need at least a 13-degree temperature difference in order for those winds to blow in the snow and cover our ski hills. And I am worried that we're not going to get that temperature difference. The air is just not going to be cold enough. So while it may be wet, Mel, across the Great Lakes, I anticipate more rain and like kind of a rain-snow mix and damp conditions throughout this winter, and milder than average temperatures as well.
That doesn't sound good, but you're just the messenger. I get you. I get you. All right, okay. Natasha Ramsahai, as always, appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you.